Welcome to our deep dive into interesting topics.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving into Higgsfield AI. This is this really innovative platform that's kind of shaking up video content creation.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way.
Our mission, really, in this deep dive is to get a handle on how Higgsfield AI is making video creation more accessible. And, what does that actually mean? Especially for marketers.
Right.
And this whole exploration, it's based on an essay by Jörg-Owe. So Higgsfield AI, in essence, it's an AI platform, right?
Yeah.
And its goal is to democratize video production.
Yeah, open it up.
Exactly. Using tech like natural language processing, generative AI, all that good stuff. Basically to help users like you create engaging video content pretty efficiently.
And it's geared towards getting you that knowledge quickly but thoroughly. We'll hit the key insights, the tech, the uses, without drowning you in jargon.
Perfect. So looking at Schneppat's essay, what really jumps out is the vision behind Higgsfield AI.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It seems fundamentally rooted in this desire to take high-quality video production.
Which used to be super exclusive.
Right. Used to be just for pros or, big companies with deep pockets, and make it available to, well, a much wider audience.
So breaking down barriers.
Totally. They're trying to smash those traditional filmmaking walls by mixing really intuitive user interfaces with some, frankly, very sophisticated AI humming away underneath.
And that feels particularly timely, doesn't it? With video being so central now.
Oh, incredibly relevant, especially as you mentioned for marketing. Video is just dominant in digital communication today.
Okay, so let's dig into some of that tech then. The core stuff powering Higgsfield AI, based on what Schneppat wrote. First up, NLP, natural language processing.
Yeah, NLP. And it's more than just spotting keywords.
Right.
The idea is that AI can really grasp the subtleties in your text descriptions. You type something in and it understands the nuance.
Which leads to a much more, natural interaction?
Exactly. More effective. You feel like you're communicating properly with it.
And that understanding then feeds into the generative AI models.
Precisely. That's where the magic happens, so to speak. The AI takes that nuanced understanding
from the NLP.
Yep. And produces, pretty realistic visual content based on those text prompts.
Wow. Okay, so think about marketing again. Prototyping ads.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine instead of weeks of planning and shooting.
Yeah, storyboards, location scouting.
Yeah.
All that.
You could potentially generate multiple video concepts in a few days, just based on descriptions.
That allows for much quicker testing, iterating.
It fundamentally changes the whole campaign development cycle. It leverages these advancements in diffusion models, transformer architectures, all the cutting edge stuff to synthesize brand new visuals. It gives you a peek at the underlying power.
Okay. Something else Schneppat mentions that really caught my eye. Motion capture technology. Now, for folks who aren't familiar, how does that actually work here? And why is it, a big deal?
Right. So motion capture, or mocap in this context, lets the AI give the visuals really lifelike human movements.
Ah, so no more stiff robotic figures.
Hopefully not. You get a level of realism that just bumps up the engagement significantly. Traditionally, it involves actors in special suits with markers.
Yeah, I've seen those behind the scenes things.
Exactly. And you transfer that movement data to a digital character. Higgsfield AI seems to be using similar principles, maybe AI-driven versions, to add that layer of polish, that authenticity. Makes the videos way more compelling.
And building on that realism, the essay also talks about advanced camera controls.
Yeah, this is cool.
Like cinematic techniques, bullet time, the matrix effect.
Classic. Slow-mo while the camera whips around.
And super dollies, where the camera seems to float through space but stays locked on someone.
Right. Things that normally need really complex rigs, cranes, specialized gear.
But here, potentially, from just a single image.
That seems to be the promise. It really unlocks dynamic visual storytelling for, almost anyone.
Schneppat mentioned specific tools, too, like Diffuse, a mobile app.
Yeah, mobile first. For image-to-video stuff, apparently you can even use selfies to create personalized characters.
Huh. And another tool called Create.
That one sounds more geared towards just streamlined, cost-effective video production overall.
Okay, so we've got NLP, generative AI, mocap, fancy camera moves.
Yep.
With all this tech, how specifically is Higgsfield AI targeting marketers, according to the essay?
Well, the emphasis Schneepat describes seems very much on serving marketers' needs, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely feels like the primary focus.
Giving them these easy-to-use tools that tap into generative AI specifically to create marketing materials efficiently, a core goal seems to be making this complex tech accessible, even if you're not a video pro.
Can you, walk us through an example, a marketing problem this solves?
Sure. Okay, imagine a small business, right? They need video ads for a new product, quick turnaround, needs to work on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
The usual challenge, limited budget, limited time.
Exactly. Normally that's hiring actors, maybe a small crew, locations, editing.
Okay.
It adds up fast, takes time.
Right.
Higgsfield AI, as it's laid out in the essay, could let that business owner just type in a description, describe the product, who it's for, maybe upload some product shots. And then the AI generates multiple ad variations, different styles, maybe different music, even different virtual actors or presenters, all in a fraction of the time, and crucially, the cost.
That speed and agility, that's a massive advantage today.
Huge, especially in the fast-paced marketing world.
Now, Jörg-Owe Schneepat's essay does briefly mention broader implications, like similar AI algorithms being used in particle physics for data analysis.
Yeah, it's a fascinating aside, isn't it? Shows the versatility.
It is.
Yeah.
But how directly does that kind of complex data crunching translate to making, a cool marketing video? Are there potential pitfalls in just assuming it crosses over easily?
That's a really good question, because while the core AI ideas, pattern recognition, processing data are transferable, the application and the challenges are super different. Particle physics. You're sifting through petabytes of data looking for fundamental truths about the universe.
Right. Very objective in a way.
Whereas video generation, it's about creating something engaging, aesthetically pleasing, something that connects with humans, the pitfalls. Maybe assuming an algorithm trained on, say, collider data will just work perfectly for generating emotionally resonant video without very specific tweaking and training.
So it needs adaptation.
Definitely. But, the fact that these underlying AI approaches can be applied across such different fields, that really does speak volumes about how powerful and flexible these technologies are becoming.
Okay, so looking ahead then, based on Schneepat's essay, what's the likely path forward for Higgsfield AI?
The essay suggests more integration, tighter connections with other creative tools, platforms.
Like social media platforms, content management systems.
Yeah, exactly. Social media, CMS, maybe even marketing tech providers directly, making it seamless.
This would boost the user experience, making it even easier to access.
For sure. And the core mission, as Schneepat frames it, continues, democratizing video creation, making these really sophisticated AI tools user-friendly, mobile-friendly.
So more power in more hands.
Pretty much. And the potential impact is broad, right? Fostering creativity, obviously enhancing marketing, but also maybe supporting education, enabling personal storytelling, especially as video just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
The essay also kind of hints at geographic expansion, maybe exploring new uses beyond just marketing. So sounds like there are big scaling opportunities they're eyeing.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Our deep dive. Based on Jörg-Owe Schneepat's essay, Higgsfield AI is really pushing to change the game in video creation.
Yeah, using AI to make powerful tools accessible.
With a strong focus, it seems, on empowering creators, especially in marketing.
Yeah.
It definitely has the potential to significantly shape how digital content gets made in the future.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to chew on. Well, as AI video creation gets easier and easier to access, how is this tech going to keep evolving? What completely new creative avenues might open up as these tools get even smarter and more integrated into everything we do?
That is a fascinating question to ponder. What happens next?
Exactly.
Well, this has been our deep dive into the ideas Jörg-Owe Schneepat presented in their essay on Higgsfield AI. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.